The top 10 most terrifying disaster moments in the world. The massive fire in Hong Kong's Central District only ranks number 10. The number 1 spot is a life or death lottery. In just 0.01 seconds, you can be dragged straight into hell. Humanity has always believed itself to be strong, until the moment disaster strikes. No preview, no warning. In just a single instant, decades of human effort are reduced to dust. From raging mountain floods that lose all restraint, swallowing entire towns in a single bite, to one deafening explosion that turns the sky into a blank void and resets everything to zero in a single second. To hurricanes with no physical form, yet powerful enough to crumple cities like trash bags. These disasters do not come slowly, they strike without mercy. If it weren't captured on camera, you would never believe how terrifying nature truly is when it unleashes its fury far beyond the limits of human imagination. In this episode, Follow Globe, we witness the top 10 most shocking disaster moments in the world, each one more spine-chilling than the last. We look forward to your subscription. And number 10, Towering Inferno. This is not a scene from a doomsday movie. This is real footage of the Hong Kong Central District fire. 7 buildings were engulfed in flames. Fire shot into the sky. Burning debris rained down from buildings over 100 meters tall, sending people fleeing in all directions. A horrifying sight to behold. This was the most violent fire Hong Kong had seen in nearly 30 years, a disaster no one could ignore. The raging flames once again reignited humanity's deepest fear of fire. When an entire building is consumed by flames, there is nowhere left to run. Even after the fire was finally controlled, everything inside had been completely destroyed. A lifetime of hard work, gone in an instant. Many people lost their lives, a real-life apocalypse. And around the world, disasters like this are far from rare. In 2017, a residential building in London, UK, was engulfed in flames. In just 36 minutes, the fire spread from the 4th floor to the 24th, burning for a full 24 hours until there was nothing left to burn. That night, the fire lit up the entire sky. Thick smoke was visible from dozens of miles away, shocking the entire world. Investigators later found the fire started in a 4th-floor kitchen. Firefighters arrived within 7 minutes and initially believed the fire was under control. But suddenly, flames reignited outside the windows, sparks rained down, and when firefighters rushed outside, they were shocked to discover the fire had already spread to the 15th floor. They were severely understaffed and had to urgently call for reinforcements. Soon, 4 fire engines and 200 firefighters arrived, but tragically, they were powerless. Their water cannons could only reach the 12th floor, while the fire had already reached the roof. The truth was, the situation was far worse than imagined. The fire spread uncontrollably, causing irreversible damage. Why did the fire spread so fast? Police later discovered the building had been renovated using cheaper, highly flammable exterior materials. When the kitchen fire broke out, sparks ignited the flammable cladding, leading to the Towering Inferno. This was entirely a man-made disaster. That unstoppable fire once again reminded us, safety is never a small matter. Never sacrifice conscience for profit. Number 9. Sandstorm. In May 2023, a town in northern Egypt near the Libyan desert was struck by a massive sandstorm. In moments, a towering wall of sand surged skyward, charging toward the town, turning the sky yellow, like the end of the world approaching. As the storm closed in, panic reached its peak. People screamed and ran in all directions, but nothing could stop it, only intensifying the overwhelming pressure. If you were there, your legs would probably go weak from fear. And if you were driving, facing a towering wall of sand, what would you do? Turn around and flee, or drive straight into it? Never choose the second option, because sandstorms are terrifyingly powerful. As seen in this real footage, the moment the storm arrived, the once peaceful town was instantly swallowed. Winds roared, blotting out the sky. Even the sound alone feels like a death bell ringing in your ears. At moments like this, stay where you are and wait for rescue or find shelter. Move recklessly, and the storm could flip your car, costing you your life. Number 8. Raging floods. This is the scene of a devastating flood. On that day, torrential rain poured down. Muddy water mixed with sand and debris, cascading downward like a ferocious beast breaking free, sweeping away houses and trees. Even river embankments were destroyed within seconds. Homes people worked their entire lives to build were completely defenseless against the flood, leaving nothing but heartbreak. And this was only a minor flood. When truly violent floods arrive, people have no time to think. This footage shows a massive mountain flood, roaring downward with unstoppable force. If people hadn't escaped in time, no one would have survived. In August 2023, northern India experienced its worst flooding in nearly 50 years. When the floodwaters arrived, roadside houses collapsed within seconds. Land was instantly submerged. In less than half a day, entire villages became oceans. Viewed from above, the flood was truly terrifying, as if it would swallow the entire world. Even through the screen, you can feel the crushing pressure. It's impossible to imagine how desperate the people inside must have felt. No wonder people say, dreaming of being trapped in a flood feels like suffocating. Number 7. Tsunami. Have you ever seen a tsunami this massive? Ocean water surges forward like wind and engulfs an entire city in just 6 minutes. Moments earlier, ships at sea were smashed apart. Residents on shore had no chance to resist, collapsed in the blink of an eye. Wave after wave destroyed the city, leaving only despair behind. This was Japan's infamous 3/11 tsunami, an unforgettable pain for the entire nation. It occurred on March 11, 2011, at Miyako Port in Iwate Prefecture. A magnitude 9 earthquake struck, initially devastating the city, but the true horror followed soon after. The tsunami rushed towards surrounding areas. Seawater flowed backward. Fishing boats were pushed ashore. Water levels rose visibly. People still didn't realize the danger. Some even watched from rooftops. Then the unimaginable happened. The sea breached all barriers and poured into the city. Massive ships were torn apart, thrown into rivers as seawater spread without mercy. Emergency sirens sounded, warning residents to flee, but it was already too late. The ocean devoured everything. Cars were swept aside. All basic infrastructure collapsed. The destruction was nearly total. Only those on high ground survived. Survivors later said they had never seen anything so terrifying. By 3:26 p.m., the tsunami had lasted over an hour and the city was completely submerged. Wave after wave continued. Only then did people realize, when nature commands, humans cannot resist. We are fragile and helpless. Number 6. Explosions. This is the disaster scene of a massive explosion at a gas station in Russia. The deafening blast shook the sky. The shockwave spread outward with unstoppable force. Even the ground trembled beneath it. This was no ordinary explosion. It felt like the signal of the end of the world. In another incident, a seemingly ordinary cargo truck exploded, yet the destructive power was no less terrifying. Within just 3 seconds, the blast engulfed the entire street, leaving no time for anyone to escape. When the smoke cleared, the scene looked like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Bicycles and electric scooters were completely burned away. An eerie silence followed. Fortunately, firefighters arrived in time, preventing even greater casualties. But the next explosion was far worse. In 2020, at the port of Beirut in Lebanon, a single blast shattered the city. The shockwave destroyed all buildings within 250 meters and shattered glass within a 2-kilometer radius. At the time, many people were working nearby. The explosion instantly destroyed their only escape routes. From disbelief to absolute despair, it all happened in less than 1 second. The disaster killed at least 190 people and injured more than 6,000. Number 5. Road collapses. In November 2025, a major road collapse occurred in downtown Bangkok, Thailand. The ground suddenly sank as if swallowed by an invisible force, forming a nearly 50-meter deep sinkhole. Vehicles and public infrastructure were dragged underground. Everything around it collapsed rapidly. Even watching through a screen is terrifying. For those who were there, it likely left lifelong psychological scars. In another case, a road suddenly collapsed, exposing damaged underground pipelines. When the pipes ruptured, water burst out violently, mixed with debris and rubble. Fortunately, no pedestrians were present. Only one parked car was swallowed. But the most horrifying footage shows a mountain road collapsing like a bottomless abyss, swallowing vehicles and people without mercy. Worse still, a raging river lay beneath the road. Anyone falling in had zero chance of survival. And if road collapses are terrifying, landslides are even worse. Without warning, an entire mountainside gave way. Mud and debris surged forward, burying everything in their path. Many victims were simply passing by, with no time to react. Even experienced drivers may not escape a disaster that unfolds in seconds. If landslides are nature's wrath, humans have absolutely no power to resist it. Number 4. Volcanic eruptions. This is real footage of a volcanic eruption. The explosion looked like a nuclear blast, sending a massive black mushroom cloud into the sky. Just when you think it's over, the lava inside continues to boil violently. Molten rock flows like raging beasts, scorching everything in its path. In countries like Iceland, volcanoes are common, and tourists often gather dangerously close to film them. But lava reaching 1,000 degrees Celsius or 1,832 degrees Fahrenheit is not something to take lightly. Equally terrifying is avalanches. Massive snowstorms rush down mountains like roaring white dragons. They can destroy forests, roads, vehicles, block rivers, and trigger landslides and debris flows. Pure white snow, yet capable of unimaginable destruction. Nature constantly reminds us it must be respected. Number 3. Typhoons. What begins as a distant rumble quickly turns into a deafening roar. Violent winds tear through cities, turning daylight into white chaos. Trees snap, buildings collapse, debris flies everywhere. Homes are ripped apart, roofs are torn away. Nothing can resist the storm. When the typhoon finally passes, the aftermath resembles a battlefield. Unlike war, however, humans never stood a chance. Number 2. Earthquakes. This is footage from the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake in China. A sudden tremor shattered the calm. Within seconds, the earth shook violently. Buildings swayed. People screamed in terror. Entire cities collapsed before their eyes. Even years later, survivors are haunted by the memory. At 2:28 p.m., what seemed like a small tremor turned into catastrophic shaking. Buildings collapsed one after another. Dust filled the air. The city was completely paralyzed. This earthquake destroyed not only cities, but countless lives. Rebuilding took years, and the trauma remains permanent. Number 1. Lightning. This is the moment lightning split a 50-meter-tall tree in half. A single strike, instant and unstoppable. In other footage, lightning strikes with terrifying precision, leaving no time to react. Cars appear to be chased by lightning. Mountains are struck directly. When massive lightning tears through the sky, it feels like the end of the world. If lightning strikes water, the result can be catastrophic waves. During thunderstorms, never stay outdoors. Lightning teaches humanity one final lesson. Nature is always stronger.